Hi, I'm Tony Gittens. I'm the director of the Washington, DC Film Festival, now in our 34th year. This year, we're coming to you virtually, which means all of our films, all of our presentations are going to come to you through the internet. It also means you can watch and enjoy them in the comfort of your own home. Today, we're going to be talking about Banksy Most Wanted, a French film, a really interestingly made French film about a really interesting artist. And we have with us today the co-director of the film, Seamus Haley. Seamus lives and works in Paris since 2007. He has been making films professionally, primarily as an editor, but he's worked on some really big, good films. He has his own production company that is in Paris, and it makes documentaries as well, and his films have won awards at other festivals. So Seamus, thank you for joining us, taking time today. And in conversation with Seamus is going to be one of my favorite Washingtonians, Philippa Hughes. Philippa went to law school, but has put a lot of that to the side to become a cultural strategist here in Washington. We know her primarily for all the productions and creative things she's done around Washington, DC. And then she has and leads this interesting project where she gathers people from different persuasions, political and social persuasions, gets them together around art and around food, and just has them talk and try to understand each other's point of view. It's a really great social and artistic contribution to our city. So I'd like to welcome both of you. It's going to be a great conversation between two interesting people about a fascinating film and how can you go wrong? How can you go wrong? Take care, guys. Have a great conversation.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you, Tony. I am so stoked to talk to you, Seamus. I just watched your film, and I have been a longtime fan of Banksy and street art and graffiti, and you really captured so much of what I feel very emotionally about, street art and graffiti, that it's just really great. So congratulations on a great film.
Thank you.
So, I mean, what drew you to this subject? Are you a street artist? What drew you?
Not really. I mean, in fact, it was Aurelia, my co-director, who had the story about about the fact that Banksy is anonymous, and so they called me to had an idea how to shoot this film, and I've always, when I was young, I did a lot of skateboarding in the street. So I know a little bit about the street. I mean, as a skater, and starting to film my friend and doing some music. I have some friends who did some graffiti also. I mean, all this world is a little bit mixed together when you're a teenager. And so when they asked me if I wanted to work with them on the film, I say, sure. I mean, it's all my teenage years that feed me about to shoot this film.
Yeah. Well, it's so interesting though, because I did not come from that sort of tradition. I'm very square, and like I went to law school and, had a very sort of traditional upbringing, a conservative upbringing. But like all of this just speaks to me very emotionally. And I think that I think you conveyed that really nicely in the film. Like Banksy is speaking for the people and not just for a particular genre or a type of person. Like he's speaking about people. Yeah. Like, can you talk a little bit more about, your experience in exploring the social activism that he does?
For me, I mean, like I said, during the 90s, I was very into the hip hop scene, and in fact, all the lyrics that you heard in hip hop are talking about people, and I mean, also my friend who do some graffiti, they paint to tell the world, So I mean, talking to people. has always been part of my life. I think that's why I went into documentary also. And yeah, I think it's talking to people. I mean, it's one of the most interesting thing in the films that are in documentaries. And also working with a lot of different people is also very nice to me. So I mean, yeah, the mix, the fact it's like richness, you know, like you get richer by talking with people. And I think you get attract by the people who do the same. You know.
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, you know, as Tony mentioned, you know, I run this project that brings people together across the political spectrum to have conversations. And so
Nice.
that's the thing yeah, like, I mean, that's the thing I'm most interested in above everything else, is having conversations and the relationship building that comes from those conversations. But art for me is the way to have those conversations. So again, that's why I'm just so interested in not only, you know, not only in the visual, like the street art, the work, that the kind of work that Banksy does, but the kind of work that you're doing. You just, like the way you just said that, like it's about creating this dialogue. Do you see your work in that way, like creating a dialogue, not, you know, it's not just a one-way kind of situation?
I hope. I mean, I hope so. I think it's what all the directors want, you know, talk to people and people get reaction to their film. I mean, it's you don't do a film for yourself. You do it for the people, and how the people see it is always very different. You know, I mean, the way that people see your film, you didn't imagine that way. So it's very interesting and kind of a little bit self introspection, you know, about saying, oh, I didn't know I wanted to say that, but it's, yeah, I mean, we make film to people. Like
What did you want to say then with this film? What was your message?
for me the message is I mean, I don't know if I'm killing the film or not, and the way that, I mean, people will see the interview before to see the film, but I tried not to say too much. But for me, what was interesting in this film is how people react to Banksy's painting, and how they imagine this kind of superhero. Some people see him as a superhero, others as bad guy who paints wall, you know. I mean, it's and what it is interesting is how people see the same message, and they don't feel the same way. So what I like about it, you know, of the story.
Did your personal view of Banksy evolve or change at all during the filming? Like, where did you start and where did you
I think I love him more now than before. Because for me, before I knew he was like a big street artist, but I didn't imagine he was so huge and so in different world, you know, art world, business world, philosophy. I mean, it's you can talk hours about this guy.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to spoil it for people either, but I just love the ending of this film.
Yeah.
We'll just say the letter that
Yeah.
was like, it really just like got my heartstrings.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Because you can see, I mean, in France particularly, we like to shoot on the hero, you know, like we like to get the bad. When we say someone is a hero, we try to say why he can be other one, you know, like someone who's making money, cheater or something like this. And we wanted to finish the film with something very strong. And I think this story, I mean, even if he makes a lot of money, who cares, you know, because you have this kind of little story about the letter, and you say, okay, it's good for people, it's good for society, it's very good example of how people can exchange and communicate, and something good happen, you know.
Yeah. You know, our producer just said that we could talk about the film more in detail because probably
Okay,
people
okay.
have already seen it. So in that case, um, because you know, I've been following his career for, you know, like a lot of people, and so I remember like the theory that it was massive attack, and it was that Robert Del Naja. I mean, I remember all the theories, and I really like what you just said. Like at the end of the day, well, in the film you talk about this, like I'd rather he just stay the hero, the unknown masked hero.
Hmm.
I don't need to know who he is
No,
because the
no,
message is more powerful when I don't know who he is.
exactly. I mean, the imagine the what you have in mind is more powerful than the reality, you know. And when I started the to shoot the film, I wanted to know who was. I mean, when I had the script of Aurelia's script, I wanted to know who was Banksy. And in fact, as long as the reading occurs, I mean, I didn't care anymore. It was more the how, what was the reaction of people, more than who is this guy, you know. And how the, I mean, I'm fascinated by the media, how the media or like rats around a piece of cheese, you know. And Banksy is playing with this, so it's, I mean, it's wonderful, wonderful story.
Yeah, it's really fun too at the same time. Um, I'm gonna admit something though, you know, I totally admire him very much. But the whole bit with the shredding of the painting at the Sotheby's sale, I remember like at that time even feeling like, why he should have shredded the whole thing. Why did he only shred it halfway? Because now it's still an art piece that is still able to be
Yeah.
displayed, and its value is actually increased as a result. And so it really always bothered me. Um, and you touch on it a little bit. I mean, does anybody really explain, you know, was
He
there a
said,
malfunction
he
or was
said,
that intentional?
no, he said that the machines, the all the mechanic didn't work well.
Oh, so it
After you, yeah, it stopped halfway. It should have get shredded
should
all
have
the
gone
way.
all the way.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I
I
mean,
missed that.
that's what he said. After you don't know, and that's what is it's funny, you know.
Okay. Okay. I missed that in the film because that always bothered me. Because yeah, like it should have been shredded, and that should have been the statement against capitalism.
Like we'll say, I mean, he's not gonna stick all the pieces together if it's on the floor, you know.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay. Well, that makes me feel better actually.
I mean, you don't know. You don't know
We
if
don't know. We
perhaps
don't know.
you don't know.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. No, okay. Anyway, um, so I know. I mean, so you didn't find him, right? Like you weren't trying to, but or did
Well,
you?
we will never know, you know. Perhaps we find him and we say no, it's not. That was one of the big concern of us, you know, mostly at the beginning of the shooting, and then we say we don't care. I mean, uh, perhaps we find him, perhaps we didn't find him. Perhaps we all have a another idea about the identity of Banksy. So that's what is funny.
Okay, but did you set out to find him in the beginning?
We tried, but it was kind of hard, you know.
Okay,
He puts a lot of walls
yeah,
in front of him.
yeah. Which of the theories do you believe?
I don't know if I have to say it, you know. I think now it's bigger than one guy.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Okay, I'll stop that line of questioning. I mean, part of me doesn't want to know, but part of me is so curious, you know. So
I think the film gives you a little bit of keys to understand who he is, or what you think about the fact that perhaps you prefer not to know who is.
I I wonder, like, when you're making a film like this, with somebody who doesn't want to be found or known, I mean, I'm interested because, like, you know, I want to know about the person, and all we know about him is, or her, or them, you know, is that is what people tell us.
Yeah.
And even like the guy who was his agent, whose name I can't think of right now.
Steve Lazarides.
Yeah, that guy. I mean, clearly he knows who Banksy is.
Sure.
But he's not telling us, you know, like, I don't know, like, I'm interested in the person and digging down into the psychology and whatever, and we never know that, and that's so frustrating.
Yeah, it's a little bit frustrating, but I mean, it's the way you make the audience watch your film, and you give some little pieces. If you give it out, I mean, if you give everything at the beginning, you lose the the film, you know.
Yeah.
But I think it's more a film about our society than about Banksy, you know, how people react about success story, and even more about this kind of guy who leaves some very humanist message that we need more than ever today, you know.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter who it is. It's about shining a light on really terrible situations. So I don't know, like, I really liked, again, the way, you know, at the end where you say, you know, if you want people to hear your message, I'm not saying the quote exactly right. If you want people to hear the message, wear a mask.
Yeah.
I again, I'm sorry, did he say that, or
yeah, he said that.
He said that, yeah.
And it's kind of strange now, but with the COVID and everything, but
yeah, that's right. It is extra strange. But you know, I guess I'm thinking about, you know, these documentary films are shining lights, and we want to. I mean, I'm still thinking through, like, the conundrum of, like, unmasking, but how do we draw more attention? What are the most powerful ways to draw attention to the greatest social questions, you know, that are affecting us? So
I think it has to be something true and honest, you know. I mean, it's always the same, you know, and that's why I think there is a lack of confidence in politics, because they always change their in French we said the gun on the shoulder, you know. There's always changing, and if you have something that doesn't have anything to lose except his anonymity, I mean, yeah, people are touched because what he says it's true, and people feel like they feel the same as him, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, of what he say about society.
Yeah, I mean, I think about, sometimes I get sad because I think art doesn't really do anything. It's just stuff that hangs on the wall or whatever. But
I think it will be a lot more bad without art. Worse, I mean, you know.
I totally, I mean, yes, I 100% agree. You know, but I think that sometimes people just put up art just for the sake of provoke. I don't know. I can't quite articulate this the right way, but like, somebody in the film talks about his situationalist, like the way he, like, picks the spot and the particular images. Like, it really does matter, the environment. He's not just putting up stuff just to, I don't know, not just to say anything. Like, it matters where you put it and how you put it up, and it's the whole environment of it.
Well,
it's not stick a piece of paper in the wall.
No, but I think at the end, in 20 years or 30 years, I think Banksy will be known as a performer, you know,
Mm.
I saw like he did in Sotheby's with the shredding, and there is another story about when he was in New York and he left a little rat, and the people, I think it was in Harlem, people hide the 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 painting because they saw all those rich people coming to take some picture of the rats, and they say you never come to our neighborhood, and now there is a Banksy, now you will have to pay to take a picture of it, it's so
Oh, I love that.
it creates like a dialogue that you never see before. So I mean, it's for me, he's really a performer, like in Venice, and painting is one of his tools to get people attention on a subject that matters.
Yeah, I like the idea of him as a performer. What are you working on now? What are you working on next?
I'm working on a film about youth, and we have like it's 5 films, and we are working on the climate and how youth are fighting the old habits that we have, and no, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a funny movie.
Oh, it's gonna be funny.
I hope so, and it will break some walls, a little bit
Okay.
about how we see youth, and in fact, I think they're a little bit younger than me, like 20 years old, and they give. I mean, it's like a punch in my face, when they talk about climate and how they are scared about future, and yeah, I think it's going to be nice.
Yeah, it sounds like an important film to be made right now too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I love talking to you. I love
Yeah,
the
me
film.
too.
I'm gonna tell all my friends about it. And thank you
Nice.
so much for making that.
Thank you, Filipa, for having me. And sorry for my English.
Perfect.
Okay.